Yes, okay. Good morning, everyone. So let me introduce myself. I am Ida Puji Lestari. You can call me Bu Ida or Bu Puji. And today I will give presentation about English morphology. So hari ini kita belajar tentang English morphology. And I am from Cultural Studies, Faculty of Universitas Brawijaya Malang, atau saya berasal dari Fakultas Ilmu Budaya Universitas Brawijaya Malang. Okay, let's start with chapter 3 ya. So it is about morphemes and allomorphs. Untuk capaian pembelajaran, mahasiswa atau students mampu memahami konsep morphemes dan allomorphs. Kemudian yang kedua membandingkan konsep morphemes dan allomorphs. Kemudian yang capaian pembelajaran ketiga mampu menyebutkan contoh-contoh dari konsep morphemes dan allomorphs. Oke, sekarang kita mulai dengan morpheme ya. The definition of morpheme is the minimal or the smallest meaningful units that are used to form words. It is discussed at a glance in unit 1. Jadi kemarin kita sudah membahas morpheme di unit 1. Okay, and then now we have revisiting morphemes. Actually, there are further things we can say about morphemes. The first is a morpheme may be realized by one sound, like plural morpheme, S in book plus S. Number 2, a morpheme may be represented by a syllable, like boy and ish in boy plus ish. And the third one, a morpheme may be realized in more than one syllable. By syllables, as in poetry, brother, and clothes. And then 3 syllables, such as in blueberry and crocodile. And then 4 syllables, as in determiner. Okay, let's see the diagram about types of morphemes. There are 2 kinds of morphemes. The first is free morphemes and the second one is bound morphemes. Free morphemes consist of lexical or content morphemes and functional morphemes. Meanwhile, bound morphemes consist of derivational morphemes and inflectional morphemes. The definition of free morphemes is the center part which sits in any position in a word for the most part. Free morpheme can accept other elements either before it or after it, since it can stand on its own. It can function as an independent word. That means free morphemes carries meaning. Most free morphemes are content or lexical words. Okay, let's see on content morphemes. Content morphemes are associated with lexical morphemes or words such as regular nouns, common adjective, and verbs which carry the content of the message we convey. The second one, function morphemes, concern with function words like conjunction, preposition, article, and pronoun. For example, so, yet, where, as, of, and among. Now let's see definition of bound morphemes. Bound morphemes are 2 types. Some bound morphemes can result in the change of word class. They can also form or generate new words or derivation. At the same time, other morphemes only inflect the words they are attached to inflection. Attached to, or we call it as inflection. Okay, now let's see derivational morpheme. Deriv morpheme is the first type of a bound morpheme which develop or creates new words by either changing the class of word or forming new words. And the second one, inflectional morpheme, refers to minor grammatical indicator or marker. An inflectional morpheme cannot develop or create new words. It also cannot alter the grammatical class of a word. Okay, now let's see allomorphs, or we can call it variant pronunciation of a morpheme. Based on Summer Institute of Linguistics or CEL or international. Okay, so Summer Institute of Linguistics International provides definition of allomorph as one or two or more morphs which are complementary and manifest a morpheme in its distinctive phonological or morphological context. Allomorph is modified by phonetic or sound environment of the word. There are some examples of allomorphs in English. The plurality in English nouns is usually written as s, which has at least 3 allomorphs. The first is s, such as in books. The second one is z, such as in bags. And then as, az, such as in boxes. So bukan boxes, but boxes. Ini contoh ya, allomorphs. And then 0 allomorphs. So there is no change from singular to plural. For example, deer, fish, moose, and sheep. Jadi ada 2 macam ya sistem di English tentang allomorph. The first is penggunaan plurality ya. Jadi kalau ada kata plural, you have to add, harus menambahkan s, seperti books, and then z, bags, and az, boxes ya. And then ada yang juga plural tapi tidak ada s-nya atau 0 allomorph. Contohnya deer, fish, moose, and sheep. For the exercises, the first direction, break the words below by putting a plus between their morphemes. Some of the words may be monomorphemic or single morpheme and therefore indivisible. For example, resolution equals to re plus solute plus iron. And there are some words that you have to break. The first is mutually, second bemused, third merchandising, fourth space, 5 empowerment, 6 typology, 7 distasteful, 8 celebratory, I granny, J endemic, K misunderstanding, L decomposition, M vinegar and vinegar, yeah, and C sickness. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, now break down number 2 direction. Break down these words into their component morphemes. Remember that every morpheme must carry meaning in itself and contributes in any way to the overall meaning of the word as it in the list. For example, ability equals to able, prefix, adjective, it, suffix, changes adjective to noun. So you have to break down the words, number 1, morphemically, number 2, inexplicability, number 3, immolate, number 4, morphemic, number 5, plants, and number 6, pliers. Okay, look at the brochure, yeah. How many processes of combining morphemes can you spot here? This is exercise number 3. And you have to identify derivation and inflection. You have to identify the word, prefix, suffix, and lexical category. Next, exercise number 4, you can count number of morphemes in each of the following words, then identify the bound and free morphemes. For instance, undescribable consists of 3 morphemes, and then an, and then able as bound morphemes, and describe as free morphemes. There are 2 parts. Part A, you have to identify word and type of morphemes. And then part B, this is the word that you have to identify based on type of morpheme. And untuk scoring or kriteria penilaian, jadi kriteria penilaian adalah patokan yang digunakan sebagai ukuran atau tolak ukur ketercapaian pembelajaran dalam penilaian berdasarkan indikator yang telah ditetapkan. Kriteria penilaian merupakan pedoman ya bagi penilai agar penilaian konsisten dan tidak bias. Jadi kriteria dapat berupa kuantitatif atau kualitatif. Indikator penilaian kemampuan dalam proses maupun hasil belajar mahasiswa adalah pernyataan spesifik dan terukur yang mengidentifikasi kemampuan atau kinerja hasil belajar mahasiswa yang disertai bukti-bukti. So, jadi untuk semua grup harus mengerjakan, kemudian mengumpulkan di Google Classroom ya. Untuk references, we use Exploring English Morphology for Elementary Linguistic Learner, written by Maharshi Eni and Purwaning Tias 2017, and published by UB Press. And then the second reference, Curtis McCarthy, Andrew 2002. The title of the book is An Introduction to English Morphology, Words and Their Structure, published by Edinburgh University Press Limited. Okay, I think that's all for today. So, okay, see you next week. Have a nice day.